okay? Mike's on this time. You're not gonna get me. What's up, chat? Happy Wednesday, February 26, 2020. Turn the music off. Let's pop the bang. Yeah. We're a little 9 minutes past the hour. Oh boy. That's alright though. We're alright. What's up, YouTube? What's up, Twitch, man? YouTube is popping right now. What up, Sideways Universe? Says Pirtle, Sarge, Josh Jackson, Stone Cold Locks tonight. What up, Brody? What up, Johnny Warren? Is Josh starting new? I think the Grizzlies are gonna be a nightmare to figure out. But we're gonna try to figure them out. Hopefully. There's a lot of value spots tonight. So far. Looks like it could be a fun slate. Man. That first sip of bang. Oof. What up, Ernesto? What up, Louis R. Peter? Going yesterday, you donated both your arms today. I guess you donate your calf to Stanton. Yeah, man. Giancarlo, down with the calf, bro. That, he's got to be the DH. I hate that. Oh. Feel like if I could go back, I was so excited to have Stanton when the trade happened, but I feel like if we go back 2 years, if we don't make the Stanton trade, are we contenders for Mookie? Whatever. Saint Case, what up? Johnny Warren, Jose Valadez, Hunter M. Hey, Ernesto Gunno. Yeah, appreciate it. Yo, Miles Turner yesterday though, huh? 3 quarters, 8 blocks. We want that. Conscious Machine, Monk on PEDs or weed. I don't know. To be suspended indefinitely. I thought all the leagues were decriminalizing marijuana. I thought I read the other day that the NFL wasn't popping people for weed either, coming soon. I thought the NBA was already like that, but I could be wrong. Did I miss anybody, man? I appreciate you guys showing up so early. Mr. Hustle, what up, dude? Yeah, you guys are it looks like the topic in the YouTube chat right now is chalk and ownership. It is a big slate. It used to be big slate, so we didn't have to worry about massive chalk. But lately, man, these days it'd be different, right? Especially if it's like a guy like Jeff Teague and stuff like that. So we'll see. What up, Celia? Hey. Do we have? No, we don't have a coast. All right, we're gonna go solo, right? Wow, I just read something in Discord that I want to drive to Canada and slap. Ibaka tried. Oh well, okay, buddy. All right, let's open up Fantasy Labs here on the Twitter machine. See what we're looking at. Jimmy Butler, questionable. Trae Young, questionable. Dedmon, probable. Kemba, doubtful. Alvin Waino, probable. Willie Cauley-Stein, questionable. Davis Bertans, questionable. Wilson Chandler, questionable. So those are the big ones. Trae Young is an interesting one. Also, a lot of jibber-jabber on Mike Conley getting benched for the Jazz, playing off the bench for Royce O'Neal today and going forward. So that Mike Conley deal looking a little different than what they expected, but I'm rooting for him. Yeah, Drummond out, right? So this is all the in doubtful probable. Yeah, we know Drummond's out. We know a couple. We know LaMarcus Aldridge is out. We know guys like that aren't gonna suit up. So that's the big stuff, right? All right, let's get the spreadsheet open. We've got all the totals up. We got a lot of games tonight. DraftKings. 100K to first. I believe FanDuel has the same thing. Highest price player on DraftKings today is going to be James Harden. And then it's a slew of just over 10K guys. So I think it's going to be pretty fun night for lineup construction. Because I think we're going to have a lot of solid guys to pay up for. There's a lot of mid-tier options that are going to be pretty lucrative. And then there's going to be some value here. Jakob Poeltl was the one that stuck out to me the most in my first research run. So hopefully we have some fun lineups out there. I like when I can have creative lineups, and lately, especially yesterday, I didn't like the lack of value on DraftKings. So I started playing some weird guys, like Nerlens Noel and stuff like that. Looks like today I don't have that problem. So I like when I have enough options at just about every tier to walk away with some decent look lineups, Need a Marcus Morris take eventually. Oof. You guys think you're better or worse without him? Josh Sennett says either Drummond or Embiid tend to sit out when going against each other. There really has been quite the history there. Worried about them getting ejected? Who? Drummond and Embiid? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Embiid's got like a different gimmick every month, it seems like. Like last year, he was the trash talker. Then to start the season, he wanted to punk everyone out. He got in that fight with Cat. And then, Shaq kind of like schooled him. And now he's like, he doesn't want to talk trash. And I don't know. Embiid, pick a personality, buddy. But yeah, let's pop open the spreadsheet here. Let's get cranked up on this slate. We're going to try and get through 9 games of action as fast as possible. I'm guessing I'm going solo. I don't see Raj in the stream chat on Discord. So just like yesterday, keep me honest. If some breaking news comes out, spam the chat so I can see it. And we will get this underway. Game number 1 tonight, the Philadelphia 76ers at the Cleveland Cavaliers. Project starting 5 for the Sixers: Shake Milton, Josh Richardson, Tobias Harris, Al Horford, Joel Embiid taking on Darius Garland, Colin Sexton, Jetty Osman, Kevin Love, Tristan Thompson. We got a 216.5 total. The Sixers favored by 8. You guys know on the road the Sixers tend to kind of underperform, but this is a spot where they have no excuse, even with the lack of Kemba Walker. On the Sixers side, you got to like Joel Embiid. We're going to have Ben Simmons out again. Joel Embiid is the guy that benefits the most in Simmons' absence in terms of usage rate. So it's a great spot for Embiid. 10.5K. We're definitely looking for the north side of 50 fantasy points, but in this matchup and in this situation, definitely seems like a viable range of outcomes. My soft projections on 33 minutes spit back 53 fantasy points, so gotta like that a lot. It definitely will be one of my more sought after center plays tonight. Just seems like a high floor, high ceiling ratio. Tobias Harris feels like a better play on FanDuel than DraftKings. With almost $1,000 discount, put him in that small forward spot. So he's going to crack the pool. The guard situation for the Sixers, I want to take some shots here, right? It's just not a high level of confidence on who, whether it be Shake Milton or a guy like Furkan Korkmaz, Josh Richardson, something like that. We know Cleveland struggles mightily against guards and wings for that matter. Second most fantasy points per game on the season to opposing point guards. So it makes guys like Milton interesting, but they do have Alec Burks. They got Glenn Robinson III, several wing and guard players that might just all get 24 minutes, So I don't have a huge hankering to load up on any one of those guys individually. But if this was a shorter slate, I feel like I would take a little bit more aggressive shots and punts on those guys. But I don't think I'm going to do it just yet. By the way, is Horford start? I pulled this from RotoWire. I know they had been using like Glenn Robinson and Horford off the bench for a couple games, so he may not start. So don't quote me on that one. I'm probably not running to play him either way. On the Cavs side, I really don't think I'm gonna go out of my way for anyone individually over here. I guess I would take a stronger look at a Kevin Love or Tristan Thompson just because Andre Drummond's out. It's a rare opportunity. Maybe Kevin Love on FanDuel 65. Opportunity cost just a little too low for a guy who should be one of the team leaders in shot attempts and probably get some rebounds. And then Tristan Thompson, I'll probably stay away from up against Embiid. So yeah, Love on FanDuel. I don't see a need for me to get to Love on DraftKings specifically, but I don't think you're crazy for taking a stab at him. But he's the first and only name that really kind of sticks out to me on the Cavs. And like I said, Embiid here for the Sixers. Chat, what are you guys doing with this one before we matriculate on to the next one? That Miles Turner call was golly, bro. Yeah, he wasn't as high on as I thought he was going to be. But yeah, it worked out. But man, I also had some duds last night. I got suckered into the Hornets and then Serge Ibaka let me down. But for the most part, most of my player pool was average. I just had 3 high-owned guys that sucked: Rozier, Malik Monk, and Serge Ibaka. What are you gonna do? Bees like that. Billy Brisdane says, no Drummond. Does Larry Nance catch some love to the mid-range, or does it disappear in the stars and scrubs bill? Who, Larry Nance? Let's put Larry Nance and Kevin Porter in the pool here. Nance at 5,900. If I can get him at 33 minutes, that's what I put him at. I trust him to be near a point per minute. I don't know if we're getting a bargain here at 59. But I like where you're at. I like the thought of Larry Nance. So I don't know. If on a shorter slate, he'd probably be in a pool. I'll circle back, see if I need to get there. You just got to remember, if I'm thinking foreshadowing the rest of the slate, I just got to know that Jakob Poeltl is going to assume so much of my center spot. And it's going to be hard to make guys like Nance make the cut. But I like that call. I like the thinking of who else benefits other than Love and Thompson. It definitely feels like Larry Nance has an opportunity. What else we got? Chat. Josh Sennick says, I think TT soaks up a lot of the center minutes to match it with Embiid. I agree. 10.5K, I know it Embiid, but I don't know. I may play Luka instead. So, I mean, those studs, if you 1v1 Embiid versus a Luka versus a Westbrook, something like that, definitely not going to push back, right? It's really just a personal preference. I've long been a proponent of going with bigs. I love bigs on DraftKings, especially. You get double bonuses and all that stuff. But especially when Ben Simmons is out, it is the Cavs. The Cavs could get blown out by, if I pick 5 of you guys out of chat, there's a chance you guys could smoke them. So I definitely think there's a range of outcomes here for Embiid to be a letdown. So I'm not at all locking. I don't want to say lock it. I'm not at all telling you guys to lock him in, but he certainly profiles as one of the best plays, or one of the best guys to have a chance at being one of the top scoring players on the slate. There's going to be a couple of studs that are in great spots, and you can't play them all. So if you do like Doncic over Embiid, I'm definitely not pushing you back on that. But we have a 37% usage rate for Joel Embiid this season with Ben Simmons off the court. 30% is the number that my eyes light up. 37%, we're in James Harden territory, so that's huge. Dude's averaging almost 2 fantasy points a minute, so this is why I'm a big Embiid guy in this spot. But yeah, things could get sticky. It could get out of hand quick, right? Peter says, my stack of Sabonis, Turner, Gallo, Adams was awesome. Yeah, I loved the mid-range showstopper. Get me what now? Now you want to be in here? My mic up? Let me know. I'm going to turn the gain down on my mic. Chat, we good? Mic sound good now? Let me know. Gunner, there are 2 guys on Houston. 1 guy's on the Sixers and Dallas. That factors in. Gunner, there are 2 guys on Houston. 1 guy on Sixers and Dallas. That factors in. You mean there's 2 high usage guys on Houston, whereas the Sixers only have 1 high usage and Dallas only has 1? Is that how I'm supposed to interpret that? All right. Lit. All right, cool. Yeah, I turned the gain down yesterday because I was picking up a lot of background noise. All right, let's bring Raj in here, who's late as usual. Here.
Yo.
Appreciate you showing up on time.
Usually we do it at 3 p.m. streams when it's like an 8-game slate.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, that's not showing up. I had some late lunch.
Nah, dude, I don't know, man. It was a weird day. I woke up with a sore throat. I was like, oh no, did I get the flu? Because everyone else has the flu. And I was like, oh god, what do I do? And then Windows needed to update. And I was like, come on, man.
Gotcha.
But I guess I don't know. You ever? It sounds kind of dumb, but you ever sleep with your mouth open in front of a fan? I think that's what I did, and it scared me when I woke up. I was like, oh no. That's my money maker. But yeah, game 1, Cavs and Sixers, dog. Embiid, that's the guy.
Embiid's the guy on the Cavs team. Tristan Thompson. There's 3 or 4 of these 5K centers who each have 8x spots. And he could go for 1, but like you said earlier, Poeltl's there as a value. He's probably he has 80% expected ownership. So that's gonna be an interesting conversation. But yeah, some Tristan Thompson, don't hate. Larry Nance go fake. Sure, he's been playing well, but it's just Joel Embiid for me. Point guards against Cleveland. You gonna take a shot on Shake Milton?
Who is the fan on in February? I literally sleep with the fan on one side of the bed, the AC on the other. Okay, we're in Texas, girl. If it's 50 degrees, we're
we have a snowstorm today.
Yeah, must be nice. Anyway, next game on the docket: Washington Wizards hosting the Brooklyn Nets. Project starting 5 for the Nets: Spencer Dinwiddie, Joe Harris, Karis LeVert, Taron Prince, Jared Allen taking on Ish Smith, Bradley Beal, Isak Bonga, Rui Hachimura, Jan Mahinmi. A 234 total, a 2.5 point spread in favor of the visiting Brooklyn Nets. Bradley Beal has a historic back-to-back 50-plus point game performance in both games. He held the L. This guy at almost 10K, when you look at who else is on the slate, it just tends to be like that. I kind of compared Zach LaVine to him yesterday, and LaVine had over 40 real points. People will let Beal fall through the cracks, right? We got Harden, Embiid, Luka. Beal's going to be sitting there. So I will probably in this situation at 10K. I'm wanting 50-point territory from all these guys, but Beal's been at that level, 61, 70, high 40s here, 50s,
20%.
20%. You want 20% Beal? I was gonna say 15 to 20%, just because I don't think the field is gonna make me obligated to really have any decisions on leverage. I just think he's gonna be there. But yeah, I feel like he cracks the pool in large entry. Nets, one of the worst teams in the league at defending the center position, but the Wizards are deep enough that I just don't really see myself spinning the wheel with a lot of these Wizards. Jan Mahinmi, Thomas Bryant, guys like that floating around that front court. So it's probably just Beal for me from the Wizards right now. And then on Nets side, Karis LeVert is 6,500 on FanDuel. That feels like a much better play for me on FanDuel than DraftKings. But at DraftKings at 7,500, it's not unlike Karis LeVert.
I'm all in.
To show
he's at single-digit percent ownership right now. I'm probably going to be 60% on Karis LeVert. Just love him today. He's probably going to be my highest owned guy above the value guys, along with DeRozan. He's just been smashing. He's taking the shots, 33% usage. It's the Wizards. That's why I'm gonna have a ton of Beal. I mean, this game stack just screams that. And give me Jared Allen is Miles Turner from yesterday. He's the $5,300 guy who I think goes way underlooked just because everyone's gonna play Poto. Pay up for Embiid.
What?
Who I think could drop.
What?
Yeah, Jared Allen. Last time it's Washington, 26 minutes, 44 DraftKings points. It's Washington. I expect another 40 bomb from him. Give me all the Jared Allen.
I mean, was that when Washington didn't have a center? I'm not defending Washington's defense here, but you that's a 22-minute 2x per minute. I don't think that's one sustainable, obviously, and two I don't know.
He did it last game against Orlando, killed it in Charlotte. He gets it done. I get the minutes worry with DeAndre Jordan healthy. But in tournaments, I love it.
Okay, in tournaments, sure. All right, yeah. You just I wouldn't. Miles Turner is a different story. Miles Turner, we knew probably gets 30 minutes unless the game blew out, which it did. Jared Allen's not the focal point of this offense to bank on him for 22 minutes. If Jared Allen's about to bust off, he's gonna have a ton of rebounds, some blocks, and then a bunch of dunks, right? And it's very possible. I'm just saying. You sound way more confident than I ever would on.
I mean, I'm probably over the field on Jared Allen for sure. Not like a 60%, but probably close to 30%.
Okay. I might have 0.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, I'm just saying, I will be on the Jakob Poeltl chalk train, right?
I'm with Jakob Poeltl too.
So that's gonna take up all maybe 80 to 90% of my center spot right there, and then the util spot, I got a lot of Embiid and a lot of other big boys. So
I like these mid-tier centers at the util, and again like the guard small forward position. Rather pay up there than Embiid.
I'm not on the Allen train, but LeVert and Dinwiddie, I could play those two. I feel better on FanDuel with both, but it's not impossible for LeVert against the Washington Wizards to go and get 40 plus fantasy points. So I like that. I like where their usage has been in the absence of Kyrie Irving. Almost 40 points a game in the last 4 games for Karis LeVert. a lot of those games are tough defenses, slow pace, right? Orlando,
Yeah, he's been
Charlotte,
doing it.
Philly, Toronto. So now we get a fast pace and a bad defense. This could be a huge game for Karis LeVert. Probably going to take 20-plus shot attempts, go get on all the peripherals your heart desires against the Washington Wizards. So
I feel like I need, like, if I'm playing that much Karis LeVert, I probably need like 30% Dinwiddie too, just because I feel like he could do the same thing. He could have the 50. They could probably put him together. Past couple games, I mean, this is Washington.
Yeah, I mean the price on Dinwiddie isn't something that I feel like I'm getting a great deal, but I get it. Like I'd rather have those two than Jared Allen at 30%. But yeah, just Beal for me. Any other supplementary wizard for you?
Probably not. I mean, they're fully healthy at the center position. Hachimura, the minutes are there, but at 5'9", I'm not getting there. It's probably just Bradley Beal for me. Oh, Shabazz Napier, he came through for me last time. So I'm gonna say the chase. I played him. I mean, it's still Brooklyn. I think this is gonna be the highest scoring game in the slate. I believe it's the highest over under. So Shabazz Napier, if you want to take a shot in tournaments, I don't hate.
Yeah, Napier had a massive game the other night, and I saw before that game, the coach said that they were thinking about Ish Smith going back to the bench, which is a good sign for Napier. Obviously, they acquired him. Good sign for Napier to be perhaps the 30-minute point guard. So might be something to watch. 27 real points, 7 assists against Milwaukee. 4,700.
Expect that again, but no, I mean,
it's 4,700. Yeah, 30 is what I want, right? So maybe. So yeah, watch that Ish Smith situation. I'm glad you brought that up. Let's move on to the next game. Charlotte Hornets, night 2 of a back-to-back hosting New York Knicks. Project starting 5 for the Knicks. Elfrid Payton, R.J. Barrett, Mo. How could you be so heartless? Julius Randle, Taj Gibson, taking on Devontae Graham, Terry Rozier, Miles Bridges, P.J. Washington, Cody Zeller. Devontae Graham did not play yesterday. Malik Monk did, and Malik Monk now out. Apparently failed drug test or something like that, and he's out indefinitely. 207.5 total. And this is a game I really don't have a whole lot of front end interest on. I think on FanDuel, sub 6K Devontae Graham's always curious. Same with Terry Rozier. But on a 9-game slate, I got to keep it sharp. The only guy that I'm really curious with is Julius Randle. He's 7,600 on FanDuel, 8,400 on DraftKings. So I feel like he's priced appropriately. But we know the Charlotte Hornets really bad against bigs. Yesterday tells you everything you didn't know. Sabonis, Miles Turner, both able to have huge games here. So a spot where maybe we get one of those upper mid-range 50 bombs from a Julius Randle. But he's probably the only guy I'm interested in. If Elfrid
Robinson 40 bomb?
Yeah, I don't know. If Elfrid Payton, you are on some weird centers today.
I'm telling you, these 5K centers, man, they can put up some numbers.
Sure. If Randall drops one of those mid-tier, 50 bombs, it wouldn't surprise me. So maybe I have a dab of that. I'm probably not going to go too far into the dumpster diving territory. Elfrid Payton 7-3, over 7K on both sides if he does play. I just don't feel like I'm going to be pushing the issue there. But yeah, it's just Jay Randall for me, and on FanDuel maybe a punt. A chip in a chair on a guy like Devontae. Although I think he was out because of an illness, so maybe, still feeling effects of that.
On injury report, he's going to play. I'd like to go back to Devontae. After the past 2 games, 15 draft points back games, he dropped 46, 45 before that at 6,700. And he can get you a 40 bomb easy. New York doesn't play any defense. Take some shots on Devontae Graham here.
Chad's backing you up on the M-Rob call. Also 5K, so I need 30 fantasy points. I can't walk away with less than that. He's averaging 33 in 2 games against the Hornets this season. He's a point-per-minute guy. I wouldn't talk anyone off of him. Like I said, I'm going to have over half of my center spots, for Jakob Poeltl. And then
you just have to go 100% on him. If you want to get real different tournaments, you want to pay for these 2 5K centers. Both go for 40 bombs. If Poeltl somehow busts, you have amazing leverage on the field.
Somebody said Mike Conley to start ahead of Joe Ingles tonight. Did they okey-doke that?
Royce O'Neal was starting over Mike Conley unless something new happened.
I just saw Pete. I don't know if Pete got that from somewhere, but yeah.
I know FanDuel.
So I saw about an hour's worth of controversy tweets about Mike Conley going to the bench and all that for nothing. That's interesting. Let's move on to the next game. Atlanta Hawks hosting Orlando Magic. Love this game. Project 35 for the Magic. Markelle Fultz, Evan Fournier, James Ennis III, Aaron Gordon, and Nikola Vucevic taking on Trae Young, Kevin Huerter, DeAndre Hunter, John Kellens, Dwayne Dedmon. Trae Young, the big Q tag here. He's got flu-like symptoms. He's listed as questionable. He's feeling a bit under the weather and is likely headed for a true game time call tonight, but he was unable to give it a go. Jeff Teague would be in line for a spot start, and there would be more minutes available for guys like Brandon Goodwin. So,
like the midday questionable downgrade, that means he's out.
I mean,
usually.
Okay. No, don't speak in definitive.
Yeah, I'm saying usually.
Flu game.
So
baby.
I mean, does Jeff Teague become a total 80%er?
Not for me. Jeff Teague, like sometimes people become chalk and the field is okay. I almost said a bad word. The field is dumb.
Yeah.
Jeff Teague is not like some lock play for me. Like I'm not saying I wouldn't play him, and I kind of had this thought the other day with yesterday with Aaron Holiday, right? I was like, okay, yeah, it makes sense, but am I locking that? No. How many times have you seen Jeff Teague start this season?
I want Trae Young to play. I mean, like, I want Trae Young to play so I don't have to. But at 3,300 on DraftKings, 30 minutes possibly. It's 16 minutes against Orlando last game. He dropped 31. That's annoying.
Yeah, no, that's annoying, but that's an anomaly no matter who it's against for Jeff Teague. Anyway, if he does play, yeah, I'd have a sprinkle of him. But I all this value, I don't need to lock in. I don't know. Brandon Goodwin's a guy that kind of makes me curious too. But with that said, it's only a 4-point spread here. So I don't know if Vegas is as sure as you are that Trae Young is going to sit. But I like the Magic. Markelle Fultz, welcome to the lineup, brother. Under 6K, I'll play him all day long, all day strong. Evan Fournier, I could take some shots on him. I'm not really going to dabble with Ennis, but Gordon and Vucevic both make sense. I still am not like the biggest fan of mid 9K Vucevic because I need that 50 plus. It's kind of the same situation. I think he just had the Nets last game, and Embiid had Embiid. Who did Embiid have? I think Embiid had the Hawks or something like that, and Vooch had the Nets. And a lot of people thought Vooch could be an elite pivot too, a guy like Embiid. The shot volume's there, the rebounds are there, the minutes are there. But at 9.5, man, I really, really, really got to get the north side of 50 fantasy points. So I think he's like
60.
It's viable. But like I said, like how many times is he going to crack one center spot, basically a util spot for the bulk of lineups? And that's only if you guys think that you're locked on the Jakob Poeltl like the field is. Because you can make a case. I mean, I know Jakob Poeltl, we would say 80% ownership right now. Yeah. What do lineups without Jakob Poeltl look like, right? If that Jeff Teague did open up or something like that, and you just went double big centers and Jakob Poeltl puts up 30, the people that played Poeltl are happy, but do you get 111, 130 fantasy points from two centers? A lot of game theory on this slate. But Atlanta Hawks, if Trae Young didn't play, I guess John Collins would lead the team in usage. It's really hard to latch on to one guy and feel super confident. For me, dude, a 4-point spread here has me.
In Trae Young plays, was he at morning shoot around? Like I haven't read anything like that.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, 4-point spread. Like, do you believe if Trae Young was out right now, like the Hawks are 4 points?
Yeah, I guess that spread is intriguing.
But then
Aaron Gordon's been playing like an all-star the past 4 games. 46, 54, 42, 53. It's the Hawks.
It is.
He's 7-8 though.
Fam,
that's nuts.
It's the Hawks. Yeah.
No one's clicking him at that price.
There's a couple of overtime games in there, right? I don't know, man. That's, dude. It was hard to click 6K Aaron Gordon. I don't know if 8K Aaron Gordon is about to be in my mix, bro. I don't know. Chat, you guys ain't playing Aaron Gordon, are we? I'm not saying it's a bad play.
I don't want to, but everything makes sense though. We always play him in fast-paced matchups. It's the Hawks. He's on a hot streak. He dropped 45 on him before last game, like 4 games ago. I mean, like everything points to him being a good play.
At 8K?
I think it's just a price. But I mean, if he gave you 45 at 7-8, you'll take it. With clearly 50-point upside.
Fam, it's the Hawks. Really? I know. I get. So that's why I like Fultz and Fournier. I like when there's some meat on the bone. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, Aaron Gordon.
I mean, shoot, Aaron Gordon looks like he was close to triple double in these past couple of games. Look at 9, 7, and 4 assists the past 3 games.
Yeah, but that's
Fox steals. Turn a new leaf. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, yeah, I don't know. So the Pistons game went to overtime. That was it. Right? Other than that, is he just playing like stupid minutes for no particular reason?
Playing minutes at the 4. He's chucking shots. Rebounds are there.
Let's see, Brooklyn. I know Mo Bamba missed a couple games. I don't know. I guess so. AK is just like not.
That's not full price at all. It's just you tell me in tournaments he gets you 55 at the end of the night.
Yeah, I'll play some like I said, some faults. I think at 5'9", I think there is an outside shot at 40 fantasy points. I'm looking for guys that can overperform. He's averaging 25 against the Hawks. Of course he is. But this is a spot. If Trae Young does play very sloppy, they lead the league in turnover per play percentage. Maybe if Trae Young is down, it's a secret like bump for or downgrade for steal potential. But I do like a little dab of Fultz, and Fournier, I think, is another guy. You could chuck a bunch of threes against the Hawks, and the Hawks are one of the worst teams at guarding the 3-ball, really guarding anything. And he's going to take double-digit shot attempts, and a lot of them are going to be from downtown. So could get 30-plus fantasy points out of Evan Fournier at 6K. He's giving you just about what the minimum requires. Last game against the Hawks, dropped 32. The team scored 135. I think that was extra innings. So I'm gonna have a lot of Magic in my pool. I think I start. I don't know if Aaron Gordon makes 20 lineups, but obviously he would make 50 to 100. So I'd probably start them all at tier 3. And like I said, if we're being real honest with ourselves, it's hard to have anything but a shallow player pool for center unless you're going to be under the field or fade Jakob Poeltl, right? That center spot is just going to be spoken for. And that's really for both sides.
I mean, look, if Trae Young does get ruled out, I expect Jeff Teague to be probably 60% owned, 70%.
If Jeff Teague is 70% owned on a 9-game slate, I think I'd take my chances.
Fade that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, if people are going to play Jeff Teague and pull it together, I feel like it's going to end up with a lot of similar lineups. Like you play those two guys at 33, 3,200. It's just, put Giannis around him, put Luka.
Hello? Phone's ringing. You want to get that? You want to stop the show and get that? You want to get that?
Do you?
Okay. All right, chat. Butler. All right, you guys are on. Still playing Dragic. All right. What up, West Coast Jam? I'm with Raj. Aaron Gordon's a good play. I like Aaron. I like Aaron Gordon. I just don't know if I like 8K Aaron Gordon. It's so rough. Let's move on to the next game. Miami Heat hosting Minnesota. Minnesota Timberwolves project 35 for the T-Wolves. D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, Josh Okogie, Juancho Hernan-Gomez, Naz Reid taking on Kendrick Nunn, Jimmy G. Buckets, Duncan Robinson, Kelly Olynyk, Bam Adebayo. 233 is our total 11-point spread in favor of the home team Miami Heat. Timberwolves out there playing nothing to lose basketball, making them kind of dangerous, getting some sweetheart games out of guys like Malik Beasley, Juancho Hernan-Gomez, and whenever Naz Reid can stay out of foul trouble. It's a revenge game for James Johnson, who has a good shot at seeing mid-20s to 30 minutes today. And on the Heat side, it looks like we just got word that Jimmy Butler would play. So that's fun there. I know there's some quote-unquote revenge narrative. This T-Wolves team's not really the T-Wolves team that Jimmy Butler called soft, right? Like, there's no one in this projected starting 5 other than maybe like Okogie, and I don't even think he was like a factor that we could push it, right? We're looking for the Cats, the Wiggins, guys like that. So I know narratives are fun, but I feel like we're kind of making one up right now. But yeah, matchup-wise, Jimmy Butler, 8,200, looking for the north side of 40 fantasy points. If you got into a forward spot and had 8,200, are you playing Jimmy Butler or are you playing Aaron Gordon, Mr. Raj?
playing Karis LeVert over both those guys at 7,500 all day, every day, twice on Sundays.
Okay. Well, you just sounded so strong on Aaron Gordon, and then you turn on him so quickly.
No, I mean it's a tough click. Karis LeVert is just a play. I tap 60%er. It's gonna have a ton of them in that forward spot. This game, I mean, it's a 9-game slate. I'm probably cutting this game out. Obviously, Minnesota doesn't play a lot of defense. It's just if Jimmy's expected to play, there's just so many other plays, so many other values. If Jimmy goes off for 50, I think I can fade that if other guys do the same at his price. If Bam dropped a 60 bomb at that center position at 9K, it's just I'm fine fading this game.
So the Heat defensively have been lackluster the last couple games. I guess you can draw a direct correlation to Jimmy Butler being out. Maybe Butler comes back in, strengthen things up a little bit. But the T-Wolves have been kind of surprising. So Malik Beasley is a guy that I feel like is underpriced. I like his shot at getting near 30 fantasy points. It's about what he's got every game as a starter. I know it is the Heat, but man, the minutes and the opportunity are just like too good at 5,900 for me to not have a nice chunk of them. And then D'Angelo Russell, is he going to be kind of like Bradley Beal and Zach LaVine, where he should assume the most usage on the team, and the field just kind of lets him fall through the cracks? Is there a range of outcomes where we get a 50 bomb out of D-Russ here at 8,600? Tough matchup, but I think that's not out of the question here. Last game against Dallas, that game got a little crazy, but he did take 20 shot attempts, and I wish the peripherals in that game were a little stronger, but you get what I'm saying. Like there is an isolated shot at 50 fantasy points. So
there's a world where Russell gets 50, Malik Beasley gets you 40, and Bam and Jimmy both get you 45 plus. It's just there's so many pivots at the price that I like better, and the Beasley price 5,900. It's a good price. But when you're playing Podol, and if I play like a mid-tier center, I'm just getting to guys who are a little bit more expensive that I like more, like the Jaylen Browns, DeMar DeRozans, and just I don't need that 5,900, but I get it. I'm just not falling into it with the way my lineup construction is going.
So much game theory of man, I love it. I love
this would be a great
this
game. Like Russell could outscore Dinwiddie, LeVert probably, or Devin Booker is going to get more ownership. Mitchell, DeRozan, right? So he could, and that'd be great. But what are the odds if you have all four of those guys in the pool, what are the odds he outscores all four of them?
He just blew a big time, 19-point lead to the Cavs in the fourth quarter. Cavs came back and won in overtime. Then the Cavs had 105 points the game prior. The Hawks dropped 129. The Jazz dropped 116. So the last four teams against the Heat have scored well over 110 real points, and then prior to the break, Warriors over 100 points, and the Trailblazers 115.
Right?
Jimmy Butler was out the last two games for a personal reason, but there has been, the Miami Heat defense hasn't been as.
You would think with Jay Crowder, Iguodala, Jimmy should be elite.
Yeah, I expected to get back right. You know what I'm saying? But in the meantime, also James Johnson, worth mentioning here, 5,300. He's been really, really solid shot at 30 fantasy points in the absence of
under on this game.
The OU is 233. It's a high total.
Oh, that's high. That is a high total. Maybe just like a one lottery lineup where I stack this game. I think all these guys go under 10% owned, easy.
Under 10%.
There's no way people are paying Bam 9K. No. The Russell 8-6. No. Too many other guards, better spots. I think everybody in this game is in single-digit ownership.
What about Butler?
Easily single-digit ownership.
No.
Easily. In that point guard shooting guard position? Stop. Look, you got Harden, Luka, Westbrook, Russell. People might even play Russell over him. Again, Dinwiddie, Booker, Mitchell, DeRozan, LeVert.
Yeah, DeRozan.
Jaylen Brown. Ja Morant against Houston. I'm telling you, Jimmy Butler is probably coming in at like 7%.
I'd put him at 12 to 15.
You're being very generous. I'll shoot.
But even that's fine. Like I take that as a low.
Yeah.
But Butler, no hero here. 2 games off, trying to get this team back right. I'm interested. Chat, what are we doing with this game before we matriculate on to the next one. Ernesto on Kendrick Nunn. I'm probably all the way off of Nunn right now. It's 6K on DK. I like Nunn when there was no Butler, no Hero, guys like that, but I'm probably down on him now, right? Hunter says, Gun, please. That sucks for Bam. Gun, no. Jimmy in. Who is your high-priced power forward on FanDuel? I don't think Jimmy in is something that would make me run from Bam Adebayo. I think 9K is something that would make me, scratch my head. But I don't think Bam and it has to be mutually exclusive from a good game with Jimmy Butler. And I think it's still the Timberwolves. I think Bam Adebayo could do just fine. I just think the price is what you should be worried about. Like, I don't think anything else is a detriment here. Let's move on to the next game. Memphis Grizzlies at the Houston Rockets. Big time total here. Projects 35 for the Grizzlies. Ja Morant, Dylan Brooks, Josh Jackson, Kyle. The Andersons got tickets to the game. How'd they get tickets? Jonas Valanciunas taking on Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Daniel House, Robert Covington, PJ Tucker. Grizzlies lineup unofficial, by the way, but just assuming that this is what we're looking at. We got a massive total, 237.5 and 11.5 point spread in favor of the home team, Houston Rockets. So on FanDuel, Ja Morant, Dylan Brooks, Josh Jackson. I mean, these guys right here, considering that Jakob Poeltl is a center, right? The Memphis Grizzlies make Jakob Poeltl something you don't have to have.
You just play them all together.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. You just do. We're talking, less than $15,000 of salary.
And Dylan Brooks is probably going to be a 60%er for me, too. 4,700. He seems like 1,000. I'd probably play 6K for him in this spot. Averaging 38 in 2 games against him. Give me all of that. Ja Morant, no Jaren Jackson Jr., 7,100. He's averaging 44 in 2 games against them. Give me that. And then I got to throw in some Josh Jackson, Gorgeous Jang. Obviously, Houston playing small. A little worried about Jang and Valanciunas. I feel like Josh Jackson could see some minutes at the 5.
Okay.
It's just one of those things where if J-Val gets 20, or Jang, 5,200 I like. J-Val could double-double in the first quarter and then just, not come back in. I feel like he does that often.
You have the weirdest J-Val takes, but all right.
Yeah, he gets on a hot start.
D'Anthony Melton, 4K on both sites as well. He's another guy I like to be a peripheral stuffing type of guy. So here's what I'm going to say with the Grizzlies. Everyone's a good play, but not everyone will be a good player, right? We all understand what that means. Pre-flop, yeah. I can make a case for every single Grizzly, but
3 guys go off though for sure.
Yeah, I would be fine with that statement. Yeah,
which is like a high percentage that 3 guys go off. You gotta love it.
Rockets, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, no Eric Gordon. We know James Harden has thrived in the absence of Clint Capella. It's 11.7 on FanDuel. That's not going to be it's not going to be astronomically difficult to go get James Harden today with all this value. So you might be overpaying for a 60, but I feel like that feels like a low end projection, right?
Or a 1v1.
I mean. So I'm playing more on FanDuel now, right? And I don't know that it's going to be that difficult to get them both. I get 54 per.
Yeah, on DraftKings you can do the same thing.
I don't think on DraftKings. I don't think you can do that.
I mean, if you play Poeltl and Jeff Teague with Dylan Brooks, it's real easy.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So in a 1v1, I gotta always go Harden. Right?
They go Harden, right?
Yeah, and that's what you're asking is if they're the same price, are you playing James Harden or Joel Embiid, right? That's probably playing Harden.
And, Josh Jackson, I think this game just screams huge game for him. Against the pace-up spot, he's gonna do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I think he'll be one of the highest owned players on the slate. So I like him. Same for me. It's the same case with Anthony Melton. Could see some 3-guard sets for Melton. I probably don't play Gorgie Zhang. You can't. Like, you literally can't. Like, if you're playing Gorgie Zhang,
I should say back-to-back 32, 38 fantasy points. He could destroy this Houston team. The coach just plays Jay about 25 minutes. You give Zhang 25, 28 minutes. He could destroy PJ Tucker in the middle and get you 40 DraftKings points.
Let me pull up the last game here for the Grizzlies. Because last game, Clark only played a couple of minutes before getting hurt, right? So Brandon Clark went down. Gorgie Zhang came in. Gorgie Zhang played 28 minutes. But Clippers were a little bigger. I don't know. What would you project Gorgie Zhang minute-wise?
Giving him 26, maybe 28.
I have him at 28. 28 minutes.
He's a point per minute monster usually, right? You give him 28 minutes. Yeah.
Like I can't oversaturate my center pool, but I like the idea of him. I do, but I don't.
Then you have to worry about the J-Val literally 60 bomb. Like, if the coach leaves him out there, he should literally he should get every rebound. He should literally have 20 points, 17 rebounds. J-Val plays 35 minutes, he breaks the slate. Easy. He hasn't played 35 minutes in forever. If he plays 30, he might break the slate.
If J-Val only gets 25 minutes with no Clark, with no Triple J, with, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna hold my breath on that one. But yeah, but that we've always said that with J-Val. A 9-game slate with the options we have, I gotta keep it sharp. I don't think
that Clippers game, they got blown out. He played 25. If this game stays close, don't you think he plays a little more?
They're double-digit underdogs on the road here. Are you really banking on it staying
close? I think this game stays close. I think John Moran, Dylan Brooks keep him in, and I think J-Val, again, strictly tournament player. I just have a feeling J-Val's going to go off, and I don't want to play him. Trust me, I don't want to play him, especially with all these other centers.
Then don't play him. I don't know why you're talking about him.
6,900, he literally has 60-point upside.
He is, at this price, hit value twice in his last 10. I'm just gonna not do it, right? I can't play everyone that might go off. I just can't. But Gorgie Zhang is an interesting one. FanDuel at 4,500. There's a case in 100K to first. Gorgie Zhang versus Jakob Poeltl. You know what I'm saying? Jakob Poeltl's $500 cheaper than Gorgie Zhang.
FanDuel, yeah, they're like 2,000 apart on DraftKings, so.
Yeah, but I'm saying on FanDuel, if you're having a whole lot of Poeltl, you want to get a little bit froggy and a little bit different. There is a case for Zhang over Poeltl.
Chandler got a little dope. Just saying.
Yeah. All right, chat. What do you guys got on this one before we move on? Did anyone else get their W-2 from DK? It's a 1099, right? W-2. But yeah, I already got mine. Cam Johnson.
I'm the green, so no.
I got mine a long time ago. I think I got one from. One of them was wrong, so I had to hold off on that. It was I think it was DraftKings again getting it wrong. Last year they had to correct it like two times for me. Hunter says big men could all be run off the court by Houston. Yeah, absolutely.
That's another thing. Yeah, he could be run off the court.
That's why I like Zhang a little bit more than J-Val, but I'm fine.
Zhang, a big man like that too.
Any thoughts on Clarkson for large tournaments? I don't know. We'll get to that game in a minute, but Ingles off the bench could really shake things up. So I probably don't.
This game, is there a world where Jackson and Kyle Anderson play the 4 and the 5 some minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, does Zhang get run off the court too? He's possible. Like a bigger, slower guy too, right?
Yeah, it's very possible. He's not that big though. Like he's fine. Let's move on to the next game. We got a speed round here. We're almost at the top of the hour. RunDFS.com VIPers. You might be surprised to hear this, but I don't think we're going to make the voice chat in 2 minutes. So bear with me. We'll try and get it done. I don't know. Can we do it in 20 minutes? We'll see. Dallas Mavericks.
Like 10 fast.
Well, that's right. Mavericks at the Spurs. Project starting 5 for the Mavericks. Luka Doncic, Seth Curry, Tim Hardaway Jr., Dorian Finney-Smith, Kristaps Porzingis taking on Dejounte Murray, Brent Forbes, DeMar DeRozan, Trey Lyles, Jakob Poeltl. Got a 232.5 total 5-point spread for the visiting Dallas Mavericks. So, no LaMarcus Aldridge. We know that creates an opportunity for a usage boost for DeMar DeRozan and others, including guys like Dejounte Murray. So, DeMar DeRozan comes in priced at $7K on DraftKings, $6,900 on FanDuel. There's a lot of mid-tier guys within $500-$600 of him, up or down. And this is a huge spot for DeRozan. And what makes it even more appealing to me is that if you let DVP tell the story and you go find the Dallas Mavericks, they're pretty green against everything but that small forward spot. So I'm a little bit intrigued by the thought of DeRozan. Obviously, it's just a matter of how much Aldridge. How much DeRozan do we do?
I'm going 70%, 80.
Really?
I probably want double the field.
So you got the field at 35%?
Yeah.
We really think DeRozan's going to be 35%?
Oh, yeah. Aldridge got ruled out last night. People are all on him. 7K. Dallas has not played defense.
DeRozan sustaining a 33% usage rate this season with LaMarcus Aldridge off the court. That's 1.3 fantasy point per minute on both sites. So 1.3 times, 33 minutes. I got him at 34 minutes. Easily gets you to that 40-plus fantasy point threshold. Definitely seems like a quote-unquote can't-miss. Jakob Poeltl coming in as the massive chalk. I put Poeltl down at 25 minutes. We pull up, we'll pull up StatMuse here and just kind of see what Poeltl's done this season. Jakob Poeltl, DKP by game log without LaMarcus Aldridge the last 5 games. The last game against Utah, 23.5 DKP. You'd easily fade that, right? And then 40 against Chicago, good matchup. 40 against Houston, good matchup.
The last 5 centers against Dallas.
1 second. Un momento, por favor. So let's pull up last 5 centers against Dallas versus San Antonio. Nasri 21 and 27, Dwayne Dedman 30 and 25, Vucevic 55 and 37, Bielisa 20 and 22, Rudy Gobert 41 and 36. So mixed range of mixed bag of nuts. Is it dumb if you're a tournament player? Is it dumb to be part of it if he's really going to be 80%? Tournaments in 2020 are all about leverage. Is it not just incredible leverage to be able to put yourself against 80% of the field and just
yeah, if you fully fade him, and again, there's tons of centers in amazing spots today, especially that mid tier. If you want to pay, like I said, the Jared Allens, Tristan Thompson, Mitchell Robinson, Gorgie Jang, you can easily fade him, and again,
yeah. I don't know. 3,200. That's just like he's. There's
the thing.
I don't see how he's not going to let you down at 3,200 price wise.
If he gives you 18 fantasy points and 80% of the field have him, I feel like you still have a shot to be relatively pretty profitable for the night.
No, absolutely not. Well, profitable, sure, but if he gives you 20 or less at that ownership, there's a good chance that not having him is the best. But I like it's hard for me to say like at 3,200, he's not going to miss individual and isolated value. But if he even got 25, is that going to shake the ground on a 9-game slate? That's what I'm getting at. I don't know. 80% still feels super aggressive for anyone, especially a center-only guy. Like, if he was forward center, I could see it. I like him.
Game. Trey Lyles could go for that 40 draft point game.
I agree with that. Mavericks overall, like I said, Porzingis has been pretty good on defensively. I'm definitely team Poeltl. Like, I like playing Jakob Poeltl, but just game theory itself, the opportunity for that much leverage is so hard to turn away from in tournaments. It's really an all or nothing.
You don't even get, like in a 9-game slate, do you ever even get the opportunity to get that much leverage on 80% of the field?
That's why I'm like, I don't know if I'm buying 80%. but it's gonna be a lot, right? It's gonna be a lot. So it's just a game theory question. Like, is that just the play to be that different?
He might have to play 30 because Dallas plays big, right? They have Kleber at the 4.
Mm-hmm.
Porzingis. So they play big, so he's gonna have to be out there. So it seems like 100% or fade play to me.
Yeah, no, I agree with that 100% or fade. Yeah. Trey Lyles could play some 5-2, maybe Rudy Gay, somebody like that, play some more at the 4.
Rudy Gay is 3,300 on DraftKings. He could get you 30 DraftKings points in this spot too. He's averaging in 2 games. He's averaging 30 against Dallas.
Anyway, Chad, don't take that as anything other than a game theory thought. Right? Play Jakob Poeltl if you like him. I definitely wouldn't avoid him a single entry. I'm just thinking if you're chasing 100K to first and you have a chance to be different than 80% of the field. Which I'll drop that to 60%. I don't think 80% is. That seems so aggressive for a center only.
But Rudy Gay isn't pushing ownership like that. He's 3,300.
Yeah, he doesn't really get minutes like that. But just give me DeRozan. We pulled up the usage rate. Another guy that gets. I guess there really ain't no. I was gonna say Dejounte Murray is about a point per minute, but I'm not really gonna push the issue on Murray. It's just DeRozan for me. And then on the Mavericks side, Luka Doncic 10.3K. Last game he was well on his way to being a fine play. Game kind of got out of hand, and he only played 25 minutes against Minnesota. Plays 35 minutes. That 46 is easy. There's 60 fantasy points. This season against San Antonio, he's averaging 64 fantasy points in 33 minutes. 10.3K. Somebody earlier mentioned him versus like a Harden or somebody like that. I think if you could play Harden and Embiid, you could play Harden and Doncic, and that's where you use guys like Jakob Poeltl to fit him in. So Doncic is an elite play on both sides. Plenty of value. No real need to get crazy. And then can we talk about Porzingis? Porzingis and Doncic have been coexisting, and it might be correlated to Dwight Powell going down. But Porzingis has been well over a point per minute, and this is new because to start the season, Porzingis and Porzingis wasn't a fantasy impact player with Luka Doncic, right? So we pull up his last 10 games. I think the last 3 or 4 have been super, super solid. 31 came in 25 minutes, but prior to that, it was just like a bunch of sub 40s. I think there's several factors that are pushing Porzingis as a good play now. It could be the chemistry's built up. It could be the fact that Porzingis is playing the 5 and he's going to get the rebounds. But Porzingis is a guy that could just fall through the cracks here. And it's a fine spot for him to be a 40-50 fantasy point play today. So he'll probably crack my tier 3 player pool with Doncic.
You're going to have no Porzingis.
You're going to have no Porzingis?
Again, the center spot, just lost so many other centers. He can get you a 50. You can't play every center.
Yeah, I don't know. I think people are still late to the fact that Porzingis is doing just fine right now with Doncic, which makes me a little bit more on him. So give me Doncic, give me DeRozan, give me Porzingis, give me Jakob Poeltl. Any supplementary plays? Seth Curry's on a streak right now. He's drilling threes like nobody's business.
Don't do it. Keep him moving.
Chat, what are you guys doing with this one before we matriculate on to the next one? Louis says thoughts on Porzingis. So my thoughts on Porzingis were basically that he's crushing it right now. And he had this cloud over his head that him and he's not a great play with Doncic. That's something that I noticed earlier this season. And then the last couple games, he's just been crushing it point per minute with Doncic. So I think he's a fine play individually. You just have to give up a center spot. I wish he was still forward eligible, right? Josh Trainham says, Gunn, is Jakob a cash lock and a GPP fade? He's definitely a cash lock on DraftKings. Like that's where I would really buy the 80%. And tournament fades just where your lineup construction and where your risk tolerance is, because you can make plenty top end lineups with Doncic and Harden and you know what I'm saying. You can pay up for those guards and forwards and use Poeltl and it'd be just fine. But I also think there's a great against the grain lineup where you go big big on bigs with like Embiids and Vucevic's and guys like that, right? And then you go after those value guards. Maybe you take a shot at a Jeff Teague or a Brandon Goodwin if Trae Young is out, and stuff like that. It's just if you play tournaments long enough, and how many times do we see just on a daily basis in NBA DFS, the highest projected guy is some chalk guy that doesn't hit. Like, I remember, was it last week? Everyone and their brother wanted to play Shaq Harrison. And I was just like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, we rat racing
There's a better
for
reason to play
18.
polo today for sure.
Agree. Yeah, Pirtle's like not a great example, but the idea of the chalk value guy being that high owned, we see this almost daily, just from a game theory standpoint. So if you're a true tournament player, you're looking for some big leverage opportunities to go against the field and be different. If he does reach 70% ownership, that's an incredible opportunity, and it becomes almost like, don't be results orientated no matter what side you. If you hit the lock button, you hit the lock button. If you fade him, you fade him. Don't be results orientated. Just know that from a game theory perspective, there's a great case to be made to put yourself opposite of the field, and that's what you want in those big tournaments, right? The 100K to first opportunities. But in single entries and whatnot, I'd probably load up on like Harden, Doncic, and then use Pirtle to get that, right? Ernesto says, if I get a chance to separate myself from 70-80% of the field, I'm taking that every night. Yeah, agreed. Ricky says Pirtle equals tonight's Brandon Clark. So again, Clark got injured, right? It's not like Clark busted. It is what it is. Only drill through. I'm scared to read anything Damron writes in chat. Let's move on to the next game here. Phoenix Suns hosting the Los Angeles Clippers. Project starting five for the Clippers: Patrick Beverley, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Morris, Ivica Zubac taking on Ricky Rubio. Big game, Ricky. Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, Dario Saric, and DeAndre Ayton. 232 is our total. 7-point spread in favor of the visiting Clippers. Another 230 total here. So these late games might get lost in the sauce here. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, both obtainable on either site. Paul George is right there at the Jimmy Butler area. Obviously, his minutes are very questionable, and that would open up guys like Montrezl Harrell, Lou Williams to maybe get a deeper dive look. Montrezl Harrell is going to be completely lost in the sauce, and I'd rather play him over like your Mitchell Robinson and guys like that. And then Kawhi Leonard's almost 10K. Can we get 50 out of him? Sure. On the Sun side, Devin Booker's 8K right there at Jimmy Butler territory. I'm probably not too excited to play him. DeAndre Ayton, I do like bigs against the Clippers most of the time. Yeah. DeAndre Ayton earlier this season, 24 minutes against the Clippers, dropped 40 fantasy points. I think that was his first or second game back from that suspension. Last couple games here, 21 minutes against Utah. Game got way out of control. But in games that stay somewhat neutral, we're getting over 30 minutes from Ayton. We're getting huge point per minute production.
Game stays closed. This is a 60 bomb for him.
Yeah, and no one's getting the Ayton today, right? You're either Podol, you're either Embiid.
I mean, I'm gonna have a lineup or two with like Ayton Booker stacks. I mean, the Clippers aren't a team I want to play anybody against when they're fully healthy. I mean, their defense looked elite against Memphis. We'll see how they look today. But I'm going to have just like one or two lineups with Booker and Ayton together just because both these guys are single-digit. Actually, Booker's going to come in somewhat owned, but Ayton's definitely going to be single-digit. And could be a spot where both go for 50+.
Yeah.
But on the Clippers, they're too deep.
Somebody mentioned Saric earlier. I'm not really there on Saric. But
not playing Saric.
3,200, I get the case, though. Looking at the live chat, Chris says the chalk is in the winning top 10 lineups every day. I mean, there's usually a lot of chalk, though, right? There's usually several guys that are 30 to 50% owned. It's being on the right side of the bad one. And every day. Like last night, Terry Rozier, Malik Monk, right? Guys like that, Serge Ibaka. Like, there's always massive chalk that you could be on the other side. I'm not saying fade every guy that's chalk, but if you can start identifying some guys, finding some pivots, and the thought on Pirtle is not the range of outcomes of him being a bad play, points per dollar. The thought of Pirtle is just, oh my God, what an insane leverage play. to be on the other side of if he does reach some of these ownership projections. Like 80% is just not something I'm buying on a 9-game slate for a 1-position eligible player. But you get that's the thought process I'm trying to drive home there. It's like, oh my God, how often do we get that type of opportunity on a 9-game slate? It's okay to be chalking a 4-game slate. You expect some 60 to 80. 9-game slate, we got a guy that might be in 6 to 8 out of 10 lineups. That's insane to me. So it's more just a range of outcomes things and hope you get lucky, right? We have 1 game left on the docket. Before we do that, take a pause for the cause. Let you guys know that immediately following the stream, I'm going to keep the conversation going in the RunDFS.com VIP Discord. If you guys want to be part of that, go to RunDFS.com. Get yourself a week pass, a month pass, 2-week pass, whatever you want. That'll unlock immediate access to the VIP forums. You click on the VIP threads. You'll get a link to the Discord. You get a link to the spreadsheet, and we'll be in the voice chat leading up until lock. And then lastly, it looked like they were in the voice chat all night, just chopping it up, playing video games or whatever. So if you guys want to submerge yourself in a strong DFS community of like-minded players playing all different sports, all different bankroll sizes, all different contests and styles. Love that community. Go to RunDFS.com, get signed up. Main event tonight, Celtics, night 2 of a back-to-back at the Utah Jazz. So many weird things to report for the Utah Jazz today, but it looks like Donovan Mitchell, Mike Conley, Royce O'Neal, Bojan Bogdanovic, and Rudy Gobert are set to host Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Gordon Hayward, and Daniel Tice. Last night, Jason Tatum was one of my favorite plays on the slate. Came through for me. He hit a career-high 8 3-point shots last night. 8.
On a tear.
He is absolutely on. A lot of people had him player comp to a Kevin Durant, and a lot of people were like, that's crazy. But he has lately kind of looked like he could live up to that. Ricky with the 100 bits. Appreciate that. So let's go pull up Boston here. We did this yesterday, but now we have a little bit more sample size. The point per minute production that we're getting out of Jason Tatum right now is so insane that you could make a case that he should be like a 10K player. And I think, even tonight, night 2 of a back-to-back in the altitude, Utah, Jason Tatum once again might fall through the cracks, and I think that's likely, or that's a mistake for what his ownership could be and should be. Up until this point, he's averaging a 32% usage rate without Kemba Walker, 1.3 fantasy point per minute. Like I said, last night he was just tearing it up, chucking from 3. Now the Blazers, in my estimation, a much worse defense than the Utah Jazz. You put in the back-to-back effect, the altitude effect. There's several cases to go against Jason Tatum. It's just, for me, that type of minute, that type of production, that type of usage, I'm going to have a little bit of him. And I'm wondering where he falls in terms of ownership tonight as well. Marcus Smart remains under 6K on FanDuel. If you think he muscles his way again to 30 fantasy points, kind of like he's been doing, it's a good little stocking stuffer. Nothing really that I have to go out of my way to play or fade. It's gotten you just about 30 fantasy points. It's almost creepy. 31.75, 31.75, 31.5. If you would have got 31.75 yesterday, that would have been incredible. Gordon Hayward revenge game back in Utah. That'll be fun. And then the Jazz. Figure out the Jazz here. Mike Conley looks like he's going to end up staying in the starting lineup. That'll push Joe Ingles to the bench. Last year, Joe Ingles off the bench played as basically a backup point guard, which was good for him. Do we need his price to go down a little bit before we want to attack that? And do we want it to be against the Celtics? Well, under 5K, I think 25, 30 fantasy points is a range of outcome here, but it's not something I feel like I'm forcing. So as a late night hammer game, an hour and a half after everything else, is there anyone in this game that you feel like you'll have more than 30% of?
30% of? No, I do like Tatum. He just seems like a 50 bomb every single game. Jaylen Brown is cheap, 6,700. That's a real cheap price tag for him. Just seems to be getting you high 30s passive game. Could get you a 40 at that price. Just give me some Jaylen Brown and Tatum. Other than that, nobody else from this game.
Yeah. Gordon Hayward, though?
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but it's not his first return back. It's his second one, right? So, I don't think it carries as much weight. And at 7'4", it's just other guys who I like. I get it. I get it.
Yeah. All right, that's our look at our slate. It's almost 4:20. I gotta get into the RunDFS.com VIP Discord. Looking forward to seeing you guys over there. Tomorrow, 4-game slate. Knicks at the 76ers, Kings at the Thunder, Blazers at the Pacers, Lakers at the Warriors. Might not do a stream for that one, but I'll let you know. I'm pretty sure we won't do a stream for that one. But then Friday's another big slate, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10-game slate on Friday. So we'll be back on the airwaves. I kind of like just doing 3 p.m. streams and saying whatever, but we'll see. We'll see what we end up doing there. So otherwise, if you got anything else for me, twitter.com/GundackerSports. Link up with me. DMs are open. I got, I'll try and reply to all the tweets. And hopefully you guys go win a whole bunch of money tonight. Anything else in the live chat before I get into the Discord? Donald said Hayward doesn't seem spiteful in his revenge, his weak sauce. I don't love the price on him anyway. Shabazz Napier starting over Ish. We kind of expected that. And yeah, that'll do it. So I'm gonna get you guys out of here. If you guys are on YouTube, man, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up on your way out. And otherwise, I appreciate you making part of my day be part of your day. And I hope you win a bunch of money. Good luck. God bless. Go into money.